안녕하세요. 루다입니다. 오늘은 Reproduction in Plant에 대해서 배워볼 건데요. 그럼 시작해볼까요? Reason for reproduction is to ensure continuity of their kind. Parents will pass on their characteristics to their young when they reproduce. There are 6 reproductive parts for flowering plant: anther, filament, stigma, style, ovary, and ovules. Male parts of a flower, called stamen, consist of anther, filament, and pollen grains. Anther contains pollen grains, filament supports the anther, and pollen grains contains male reproductive cells. Female part of a flower, called pistil, consists of stigma, style, ovary, and ovules. Stigma receives the pollen grains, style connects the stigma to ovary, ovary contains the ovules, and ovules contains the egg cell. Reproduction in flowering plants involves 4 processes: pollination, fertilization, dispersal, and germination. Pollination is the process of pollen grains from the anther being transferred to the stigma of a flower. Insect, birds, and wind will help in pollination. Plants being pollinated by insects and birds usually have large and brightly colored petals, and they also have pleasant smell. Plants being pollinated by winds usually have small and dull-colored flowers. There are 2 types of pollination: self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination occurs within the same flower or across flowers on the same plant. However, cross-pollination occurs across flowers from different plants of the same type. Fertilization refers to the fusion of the male reproductive cell within the egg cell. The process during fertilization is when the pollen grains land on the surface of the stigma. Each pollen grain produces a pollen tube. This tube grows down from the stigma through the style to the ovary. The ovule is found in the ovary of the flower. Inside each ovule is an egg cell. When the pollen tube reaches the ovule, the male reproductive cell in the pollen tube fuses with the egg cell. After fertilization, most of flower parts, except ovary, usually wither and drop off. Ovaries start to swell to form a fruit. Ovules start to develop into a seed. Seed continues to develop inside the fruit, and fruit grows bigger. Dispersal refers to the scattering of fruits or seeds. This prevents overcrowding and reduces the competition for sunlight, water, and mineral. There are 4 different types of dispersal: animal dispersal, water dispersal, wind dispersal, and splitting and explosive action. Animal dispersal happens when animals eat the fruits and throw away the seeds, or eat both the fruits and seeds and pass the seeds out of their droppings. This usually happens for seeds found in fleshy fruits. They can also disperse by clinging onto the fur of animals or human clothing. This is for seeds with stick hair, bristles, hooks, or spikes. For wind dispersal, the plants will have usually light and small seeds so that it can be easily carried by the wind. They will also have wing-like structure, which help them to stay in the air for longer periods of time and allows fruits and seeds to be carried over a greater distance. Water dispersal is usually for plants grown in or near water. They have fibrous husks or air spaces within to decrease its density and allowing them to float. They will also have waterproof covering, and fruits are carried along streams and rivers or out to the sea to distant locations. Splitting or explosive action. The fruit splits open when they are ripe or dry often propelling the seeds with great force over a long distance in an attempt to scatter their seeds further away. Germination is the process of seeds developing into young plants if conditions are suitable. The conditions are they need air, water, and warmth. Germination does not need light as seed leaves provide the baby plant with food. The process of germination is, first, roots of the baby plant grow first and shoot grows next. Then young plant making its own food when it develops leaf. Thank you.